Hey there, BookTube. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm talking about borrowed books. Where can you borrow books from? So on YouTube there is the misconception, I think, that a lot of YouTubers go out and get a lot of books for free, or they spend tons of money and they go to bookstores and they buy full price books. That would be incorrect. I can't speak for all YouTubers. I could speak for some of the YouTubers that I follow. A lot of the YouTubers that I follow, we all talk about books that we've borrowed from somewhere. Most of us from the library. I have a very active library card. My library card is so old, you could see it has sellotape on it. I won't show you the back because it has my number on it, but my library card is so old that I have to keep the barcode in place by putting tape around it. That's how long I've had my library card and how much I've used it. I got this card when I first moved to New York, maybe in 2001. Latest I got it was like 2002, but I used to go to the library that was close to my school all the way downtown, and I would go there during breaks in my classes and I would borrow books from the library. And the New York Public Library is so cool that it extends to the Bronx. So when I was working in the Bronx, I would be able to go to the library close to my job at my lunchtime. I've had this card and it works in several bars, it works in several locations, and so this is my ticket to all the books that I could possibly want to read. When I hear that a book is being released, I could go online and go onto the New York Public Library website and I can request the book when it is available. They will let me know and I'll go to whatever library I have chosen and I go and I pick it up. There's a library 2 blocks from my house, which means I go by the library all the time. So I go online, I reserve a book, they let me know when it's ready and I go and pick it up. Or I go into the physical library sometimes and I browse and I can pick up a book that I find interesting, maybe an author that I recognize, a new release that I never heard about. I could pick it up. Like yesterday, I was in the library. I was waiting for my friend, and I stopped into the library. I found this short story collection that Jojo Moyes just released called Paris for One and Other Stories. I can't believe I didn't realize that this was out. And so it was a good thing that I was in the library. They had a couple of copies. This is a brand new book. It hasn't been read. You could tell from the pages, right? And so I get to read this book for free. Now, if I like the book enough and I want to own it, I can go online and purchase my own copy for my own collection. But that is an option for me. I don't have to. Why? Because I've already read the book for free. I do that a lot. I find a book that I like, I want to own it, I read it from the library first. Then because I've read the book, there's no rush. I can wait until the book goes on sale. I can wait until I find it at a used bookstore. I can wait until someone gives me a gift card and go and buy it. So that system works, and a lot of booktubers I know do something very similar. Reading should be cheap or free. I don't think that there is anything that you have to do that should cost you a ton of money. It can if you want to, and I encourage you, if you like books and you want to support authors, of course, go out and buy books. But understand that for a lot of traditionally published books, the author doesn't make that much money from the individual book sale. So I think that we should do that for self-published authors. There aren't a lot of self-published works in the New York Public Library. I mean, I published a book myself, and so I know that it's hard to get a self-published work in the library collection. I have tried to get my book. It's complicated in the library, but you have to go to the main branch and fill out some forms and speak to a person, and this person sometimes is on vacation, and it's kind of hard. It's a little bit of a challenge to get your self-published book in the library. But I don't necessarily think that you have to wait to get self-published books for free. Definitely, by all means, you want to support an author, go and buy their book, contact them and let them know you love their book, you'd like to buy a copy, where can I obtain your book, so that you can make the maximum profit from that book. I think that that's how we should deal with self-published authors. But these traditionally published books, by all means, I think we should go to the library, read those books, make sure that we love them, make sure that there's the books that we want to own, before we take them home with us. Because listen, I am right now running into a problem of where to store all the books that I have. If I was gonna buy and collect all the books that I have read, pretty soon I'd have to make my bed into storage space for my books, which I gotta tell you, I'm not there yet. But at this rate, if I keep buying books at the rate that I've been going, I might run out of space pretty soon. But right now, the shelf behind me, these are books that I own that I haven't read yet. These are books that are on my TBR. Either I haven't read or I want to reread them. So they're on my TBR shelf. But these are books that I own. Everything else that I have a stack of books right here that I got from the library that I'm just going to share with you so that you'll know it's possible to have a lot of books from the library. Right now, I have 20-something books out from the library. The New York Public Library allows you to have, I think, about 50 books on loan at any one time, or 50 items. You could also borrow CDs, DVDs, magazines, ebooks. They have a system for ebooks which doesn't really work for me. I can't remember the format that they have their books in, but it's not a format that I use. But I take books. I take physical books out, as many as I can handle sometimes even more than that. I read them, I renew them if I haven't gotten a chance to get around to them yet. If it's a possibility for me to renew it for another 3 weeks or something, then I'll take it. And I keep up with my library. My librarians are people that I enjoy talking to when I go in. A couple of them, they know me by name, I know their names, and we enjoy chatting. So it's a little social community. That is what reading can be for you. If you go to the bookstore sometimes, or if you just, go on Amazon, you just order a book and it just comes to you. Sometimes, you miss out on a little bit of that social interaction. So thank God for BookTube though, because here we are. We still have that opportunity to have that social interaction. So today I'm just sharing with you some of the books that I have right now on loan from the library. Right now, my current read, I'm reading Olive Kitteridge by Elizabeth Strout. She won the Pulitzer Prize with this book. The story was made into a miniseries for HBO, and this cover picture is from that miniseries. And I'm about 2/3 of the way in, so I should be done later today. I'm also reading for nonfiction John Wooden's A Game Plan for Life. This is about Coach John Wooden. He was a famous basketball coach. I shouldn't say was, I think he's still alive. He is well known for his mentorship ability. And so I'm reading this. I got this from the library yesterday and I started reading it almost immediately because I've been wanting to read this for a while. Reading this from my nonfiction and reading Elizabeth Strout from my fiction. I also have out, I told you, Jojo Moyes, Paris for One, and other short stories. I have Today Will Be Different by Maria Semple. She wrote Where'd You Go, Bernadette? I have The Interpreter of Maladies by Jhumpa Lahiri. This is her Pulitzer Prize story collection. I have The Vegetarian by Hong Kong. I have Unburnable by Maria Elena Jean. I have A Tree Grows in Brooklyn by Betty Smith. I have Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close by Jonathan Safran Foer. I'm looking forward to reading this book because I haven't read anything by him before, but I also picked up this other book by him in my book haul last week, which you might remember. This is Everything is Illuminated, and I'm sure that I'm gonna love one book. So I'm taking a bet that I will love this book and also this one. I have The Sympathizer by Viet Thanh Nguyen. This is also another Pulitzer Prize winner that I'd like to read at some point very soon. And I also have You Should Have Known by Jean-Hanif Korelitz. This is a thriller and I really want to get to this book. I just haven't yet. And it's not on my November TBR either. I don't know when I'm going to get to this one, but I'd like to. So that's all the fiction books that I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I have 10 fiction books out. For nonfiction, I have this book I showed you earlier. This is the John Wooden book. I have this book that I saw in Barnes & Noble called Draw to Win, which is a crash course on how to lead, sell, and innovate with your visual mind. Interesting title. I have The 4-Hour Workweek by Timothy Ferriss. This is on my nonfiction November TBR. I have Thou Shalt Prosper by Rabbi Daniel Lapin. This is also on my nonfiction November TBR. I have How to Write Like Tolstoy by Richard Cohen. This is not on my November TBR, but I'll probably read this in early December when I start editing my NaNoWriMo project. And I have Super Bosses by Sidney Finkelstein. So that, for my nonfiction library haul, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 6 nonfiction and 10 fiction books out from the library right now. That's a total of 16 books out from the New York Public Library. 16 books that they have lent me for free. So don't say you don't have money to read. Don't say you don't have money to buy books. If you are close to a library, by all means, sign up, get a library card. It's free. If they make you pay anything, it will probably be $1 just to get the card. And if you don't have a library next to you, ask someone who you know reads. Ask them if you can borrow a book. If you don't have a friend who is a reader, then maybe you should contact somebody on YouTube and offer them $3 to ship a book to you. Most book collectors, most of us who have libraries have extra books that we would be willing to share, to lend. I have a couple of copies of books that I have 2 copies of, and I'd be willing to give them away. Some of them I'm kind of holding on to for the end of the year when I'm giving gifts. I could put a little book in a gift to give to someone. Books, some of my extra books, some of my surplus books, I'll be taking out of my collection at the end of this year and including in gifts when I'm giving, trying to give Christmas gifts to friends. I'll add a little book inside. So don't let the fact that you can't afford to buy a book stop you from reading. There are tons of books out there. There are tons of ways to borrow books. So that is my little encouragement to participate in the Borrow-a-thon this year. Borrow-a-thon starts on November 7th. So next week I'll be reading only books from this section. Any book that I read next week will be from my stash, or if I stop by the library again and pick up something new. So that's it for today, and we'll talk later. Thanks for watching my video. Hope you have a great weekend. Talk to you soon. Bye.